The ongoing tussle between President William Samoei Ruto and his deputy Rigathi Gachagua has exposed the very cracks in the UDA. When they took over power, they started on a very high note, and they put a brave face that they were not going to repeat the mistakes from the previous regime. The question that many are asking is, who started the war? Because from Ruto's side, they are claiming that Rigathi Gachagua started all this when he began the talks about unity of Mount Kenya. And of course, with that very unique declaration that he was supporting one man, one shilling, one vote. And many experts believe that is where troubles started for Rigathi Gachagua. To those who support Rigathi Gachagua, they are saying William Ruto started it all when we were told that Rigathi was denied a chopper on that very, was it on a holiday when William Ruto declared a tree planting holiday in memory of those who died during the floods. But as it is, it doesn't matter who started. What matters is that we are being treated to a free episode of Rigathi Gachagua and William Ruto. Should this altercation continue? That's the other question. And is it good for the country? It is not good for the country because it is derailing the process of implementing what William Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua promised the hustlers. But is it good for Rigathi Gachagua? Yes, it is good for Rigathi Gachagua. And before we move on, I want us to listen, because I have seen William Ruto unleashing his foot soldiers, including the highest ranking members of the cabinet. I saw Speaker Moses Wetangula weigh on the debate. I saw Musalia Mudavadi, and Kithure Kindiki also surprised people. But Rigathi Gachagua is not left behind.
Who prophesied that Kenya Kwanza administration is going to win. We are asking that our president and his friends be reminded that they said watatuhudumia sisi raia, na ya kwamba mfano uliokuwa pale mbele ya mateso mheshimiwa rais wetu William Ruto aliyoipata wakati wa ile serikali nyingine ya mtu anaitwa Uhuru Kenyatta. He sweared on a TV interview, being interviewed by Joe Ageo, that hata waitesa naibu wake wa rais Rigathi Gachagua. Nasema hivyo kama rafiki yake, mtoto wetu asiteswe, mwana wene tidere na kutie modo tari kwao. Nasema hivyo kwa sababu tukisema Rigathi ni wetu tunaitwa wakabila. Hakuna mtu ana kwao, hata Yesu kwao inajulikana ni wapi, si ni ukweli? Babake na mamake inajulikana. Kwa hivyo mimi nasema hivyo, vile vile wakati ndugu yangu Kionjori alipofutwa, niliposimama na yeye, hata saa hii, Rigathi awe mzuri, awe mbaya, he is our man at the top. Ana kuna watu wanatuzia uoga hii town. Ati sijui William Ruto alikuwa ameingia mlima, amejitafutia kura. Ni sawa, nyoki yake yuanera, alikuja akaomba kura. Lakini kufunga hii deal ilihitaji mmoja wetu akue pale. Bona hakutafuta Wetangula ama Musalia, alitafuta mmoja wetu. Na kwa hivyo ule ako pale, awe ni favorite or is not favorite, Cate Waruguru, my supporters na watu wa kusimamia maneno iliyowekwa ahadi mbele ya Mwenyezi Mungu, mbele ya kanisa na raia. We are fully behind Rigathi Gachagua, na tusiuziwe uoga na mtu yote. Finally, as I conclude, I am pleading with the church, the House of Bishops, especially led by the Catholic Church, because you're on this holy ground, that there is need for us to put our leaders into accountability. There is nobody who is above the law, not even the president, not the deputy president. Kama hawa watu hawazungumzi na hawaongeleshani, waitwe na wazee na waitwe na mabishopu waketi, waulizanwe ni shetani mgani pepo baya, tukemee yeye atoke nchi iweze kuendelea mbele. And I'm done. I want to thank you again for your support kwa maombi yenu.
So that is Cate Waruguru, and the reason why she shocked me is that she was nominated to be a chief administrative secretary Is she not afraid that that nomination can be cancelled and revoked? But let us stick to the question. Is it good for Rigathi Gachagua? Yes, it is good for Rigathi Gachagua, and Rigathi Gachagua must not stop. He must continue wrecking the vote from the boat from within. He must continue provoking William Samoei Ruto. This war must continue, and I will tell you the reasons why this is good for Rigathi Gachagua. Please subscribe to our channel if you're watching us for the first time. Click the notification bell to allow YouTube to notify you. Allow me also to request you to like our videos. To those who support us in one way or the other, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the reasons why Rigathi Gachagua must continue provoking William Samoei Ruto is because this is giving Rigathi Gachagua a chance to redeem himself. When they took over power, William Ruto misused Rigathi Gachagua. He sent Rigathi to provoke Uhuru Kenyatta. Rigathi was in charge of everything that was happening. Rigathi has declared that is the one who took away the policemen of governors. He told Governor Simbarati. That means he was in charge of persecuting those who were on demonstration, because he revealed to Simbarati that it is the role of the police to protect our innocent people. And Rigathi was in charge of the Northland farm as they were invading it, in charge of harassment of Mamangina. And you all know that Rigathi faced Raila Amolo Odinga in one of the funerals of it was the wife to the former late veteran Dedan Kimathi. And Rigathi Gachagua told Raila, "You will not go to the street as long as I'm a deputy president. I will deal with you. I will deal with your people because you want our businesses to collapse." Rigathi said he had laid traps in State House so that Raila would not set foot there. With all these mistakes, Rigathi cannot redeem himself when they are at peace, when the government is performing. The only way is to ensure that he ruffles feathers, and this gives him an opportunity. That is why you can see him. He went, and more than 3 times he has tried to look for apologies, begging Uhuru Kenyatta to accept him. And Jeremiah Kioni told us that Rigathi has finally seen the light and they can work together. Raila Amolo Odinga, while receiving a report from Limuru 3, said that Rigathi is now a Paul. He was Saul, but is now Paul, the biblical Paul. And that tells you that because he has broken away from the jinx of William Ruto's kind of policy, he's now a free man. He can only redeem himself from the past mistakes by breaking away. So he must continue this war. Number 2, he is building his own political empire. He cannot build his empire while he's still being yoked into Ruto's, kind of office. For him to rise up, he must do what the other politicians did. Raila Amolo Odinga, when his father died, Jaramogi, and he left, Jaramogi left Ford Kenya in the hands of the late former Vice President Michael Kijana Malo. Raila, wrestled power literally from the hands of Kijana Malo. And when he realized that there was a stalemate, he first created a stalemate. Then he walked away. And his people who believed in him, joined him. And that is how Raila became powerful. William Ruto, realizing that Daniel Toroitich Arap Moi was to retire, and he saw a vacuum in Rift Valley, he started wrestling that power. And that is how he built his own empire. Rigathi Gachagua must continue fighting William Ruto, because that is the only way he will convince people that indeed he's a man. You must wrestle. There is a quote from my village, not village, but in Luoland, that says, "Telo ikao, telo okwingato." Simply translated, that you must grab power. You don't wait for it to be given to you. That is what William Ruto did. And so Rigathi Gachagua will get an opportunity to build his political empire by going against William Samoei Ruto. And I know there are political ramifications and consequences, but he must go for it. It is also giving Rigathi Gachagua a chance to test his political muscles. He must test whether he is equal to the task. I remember when we were about to promulgate the new constitution, William Ruto simply went against it, peddled a lot of lies here and there, but he was testing whether there are people who could listen to him. And he went to the fullest with his narrative. And when people voted, yes, the yes carried the day. And William Ruto knew that I can convince people because they know also had a chunk of votes. And he said, okay, now I can go for it. For Rigathi Gachagua to go for it, he must test his political muscles, flex it a little bit to know how far can I go? Will Kenyans listen to me? Are there people who have got sympathy? Will they buy into my narrative that I helped William Ruto ascend to power? Now he's ditching me and abandoning me. He must go for it. And I'm convinced that Rigathi Gachagua must continue with this political war. Number 4, it is giving Rigathi an opportunity to renegotiate for this power. Because I have realized very many, the closest allies to William Ruto are telling Rigathi Gachagua that, when we were voting to give William Ruto a running mate, we didn't even vote you. I don't know, you came, number 2 or something, but William Ruto just chose you. And I've continued to ask what Cate Waruguru is asking. Even if William Ruto went to Mount Kenya alone and looked for votes, but at the time of pending an MOU, signature to MOUs, he looked for Rigathi Gachagua. And the question that is very pertinent is this: if he knew he was going to get Mount Kenya votes without anybody, why didn't he go for maybe for Wetangula? Why did he go? Why did he specifically pick Rigathi Gachagua? He was given Kithure Kindiki. Why did he, abandon Kithure Kindiki and picked Rigathi Gachagua? Of course, he told us that, Rigathi is a mobilizer. He knew he was. So, Rigathi Gachagua must continue provoking them, being obstinate and adamant, so that they will come. If William Ruto still wants and needs his support, then this must be renegotiated. It cannot be that Rigathi is a deputy president. And I'm not supporting Rigathi. I'm only mentioning why he must continue this fight, politically speaking, so that they don't tell him, hatuku kuchagua, tulikuwa na Kithure, nini. Then if they agree that Rigathi will still remain the running mate, then there must be another MOU, so that he's not being told, hatuku kuchagua. So he must move on with it. Number 3, it is exposing William Samoei Ruto, a man of God, a man who said he was persecuted by his boss, former boss Uhuru Kenyatta, and he said, I will not. I have learned from my mistakes. And even Rigathi Gachagua told us that they will have quite a lot to do to Kenyans, that they won't have time for political wrangles. But it is exposing William Samoei Ruto. William disagreed with Uhuru Kenyatta. Now he's disagreeing again. They have political wars with Rigathi Gachagua. One would say that maybe it is William Ruto who is wrong here. Because Rigathi, we've heard from quarters that he's being denied a chopper. Why would you deny your deputy a chopper? Is there any tangible reason? He's being frustrated. And Rigathi must continue, because the more he provokes William Samoei Ruto, the more he exposes William Ruto. Very soon, it will explode and William Ruto will not be sending people like Didmas Baraza or Kithure Kindiki. William Ruto will go for him. They will go bare knuckle at each other. And he must continue like this, because we will soon know that the king is naked. The last one, ladies and gentlemen, by Rigathi Gachagua taking that stand, Rigathi is emerging as a political heavyweight, is emerging as an alternative voice, so that people who are very tired of the UDA can, see him as an alternative. And after disagreeing and making sure that life is difficult for William Ruto, then he can join with Uhuru Kenyatta. If you want to know that this is serious, William Ruto has unleashed all his foot soldiers to tackle one man called Rigathi Gachagua. And I'm happy that William Ruto chose Rigathi Gachagua as his running mate. If he got someone like Kithure Kindiki Abraham, it would have given him a lot of headache. William Ruto needs someone who is as stubborn as he. Rigathi Gachagua is the man. And I want to make the final disclaimer. It is not that I like Rigathi Gachagua. In fact, in terms of policy, I disagree with him. But there's one thing I like about him. He picks a decision and stands with it. So if you ask me, this is an unsolicited advice from me. Rigathi, you should not relent. Go on with the fight within the UDA. Because if you relent now, you'll be doomed. Continue to the end. And that is my take.